Gino's in a free chat.
All right, so we're back
And that's
at
another
it
thing I gotta
again.
straighten out. This Venmo account you made me
We got the
put up,
video
all the
feed
money's still
hooked
stuck in
up.
there. I don't know how to get it out.
Watching a live broadcast of
So that's another day.
LA,
I gotta figure that out.
or as some might call it, Hell
Thank
A.
you, Permit Sale. Happy Father.
You might hear some audio in the background, a little random show. I'm sure nobody's watching. They're gonna see this, so I'm not really too worried about it. But you know, if you're into it. So we picked up where we left off earlier. Well, hopefully everybody had a nice evening and stuff. So now we got this part of the cave here.
No, that's usually something that's.
Tuki says you look like Gilly.
We got a new lineup. We lost the old man. We gained this guy named OJ who's fucking useless at level 5 and nothing to offer the team. But we're gonna continue on the mission here. Somewhere's in this cave is a special type of stone or something that I need to find to bring back to the village to help restore Rosa back to life. So, alright, let's do it. And, you know, while we're watching, we'll listen to some stuff in the background and check out the video. If any action happens.
But neither one can help either the other guy.
Right.
Steve would do.
Borgo's the old man in the wheelchair that has all the money.
No, that's Patrick Melton.
Oh,
sweet.
Jesus.
Steve. Voltage to electrocute people, right?
Yeah, Clearwater Chat was literally just talking about this earlier this episode.
But a toaster in a bathtub, it's still. Dead parents. Clearwater Chat as a guest is like that Jerry Kelly's video. Clearwater Chat as a guest. This is like that Jerry Kelly's video.
Got a little bit of overload with the audio. Why is that picking up? Sorry, just testing things out here.
What?
So the people.
What was that, Katie?
Got a call from Falata. Me for what?
For saying that Shuli's a pedo.
Okay, but the network was started by a guy who's going to jail for child pornography.
So you're not wrong.
So they have a case based on that.
I don't.
It's like all these clowns, Carl and the Shitway here and the Pedophile Network and Stutter John. They're always they're sad. These guys are sad fucking losers. That's a fact, Jack.
If they can't sue you, he might make a puppet of you.
Right,
so,
right.
So you gotta watch
out.
No,
and also
he might make a puppet of you.
No, you know the funny thing was they remember used to do the Uncle Karen show, and then they're like, that didn't work out, and like crushed him in the money, and now they're like, hey, that didn't work, so now we're gonna.
Tuki was on earlier. He hopped off, and now it's kind of fucking lame. Oh, ain't nothing happening over there.
It is population. It is urban sprawl, as far as the eye can see. I love old news commentary. As far as the eye can see. But it really, truly is. It's like from the shoreline to the ocean. Shoreline to the ocean. From the shoreline to the mountains, it is completely packed with stuff. Mostly houses. You got a lot of industry out here as well. But it really, truly is. And it is vast. It is so vast. When you're in Southern California and you say Los Angeles and you're not from LA, you really can't grasp what we're talking about. Now, if you say New York, technically, I guess New York is an island, right? The state of New York a little bit bigger, but if you even look on the map and you say, let me grab that state of New York and put it in California, the land out, it's nothing. It is nothing. I love you New Yorkers. I lived out there myself. I love the East Coast. Got nothing but love for the East Coast. But when it comes to land and size, you know, I know it. You guys make it up with personality out there, but look at the vastness of the Southern California area. And this is just Los Angeles. Now, it's not like this, like from the border of Mexico all the way up to the border of Oregon. It's not like that. But it's like that here. And it does kind of break up when you start getting past Ventura. You start seeing a little bit less of this, more just towns and pockets, but just this alone, it should really make people go, oh my God, California is huge. It is. It is. It is. I got 3 more minutes of rambling. Ugh. Somebody's going to be like, there's no houses right there, Stu. You're lying to us. No, I'm not lying to you. That's what's called a park. That's El Dorado Park, by the way. Named after the Cadillac. No, it's not named after the Cadillac. All right. I got bugged. Got snot on the lens. All right, that's Los Alamitos out that way. Made a precautionary landing there one time. Was greeted by armed military. And yes, I know I got a bug on the lens. And that over there is Long Beach. If you guys get the reference, that's Mindhead right there. You remember you remember Mindhead? Was it a Mindhead? I think it was Mindhead. It was one of the, oh my God, it was such a great movie. Anyways. No, the movie wasn't called Mindhead. Can you name the movie?
This is how we make the system. You're asking double eyes. The help we make. Why waffle?
Trying something out here. How can you hear me? All right. Oh, now I see why the way it was fucking echoing in my ears. I was able to fix that. Alright, look at, see? We are making progress here, folks. What I want to do either. What I will do is try to find something that we could just fucking have in the background for noise while I fuck around and do this. Yeah, so I figured out how to add a video element to it. We'll play around here. Are they live? Are they live? What's this? Alright, found something. Live now? Yeah, are you? Are you live now? Doesn't. Alright, that just seems boring as shit. Is this live? Hold on a second, we found something here. Alright, hold on one second here. We got it. We got it. We found it. No, not that. Not that button. This button. Exit that. Here. Da da da. Da da da. It's not fucking taking forever to do this. Try to bring that full screen. We're live.
Against the forces trying to.
All right, here we go.
Hunter Dunn, thank you very much. The
we're
Los Angeles
learning.
No Kings Day of Protest coordinator. Thank you for joining us.
Hopefully we got rid of the echo off.
Live right now from Skyfox. This is in Van Nuys, where earlier this morning there was also a protest from Panorama City to the federal building in Van Nuys, but where several protesters still remain. And now we're seeing this for the first time. We're seeing protesters take to the intersection. Obviously, on Van Nuys Boulevard, there is a green light. You see the traffic moving back and forth. Obviously, stressful, extremely dangerous for protesters, for drivers alike. This is Victory Boulevard and Van Nuys Boulevard, right there in the heart of Van Nuys, just about a mile or so away from the federal building and LAPD Van Nuys headquarters. LAPD is aware of what's happening. They're keeping a close eye on what's occurring here, but this is the first time that we're seeing a small group of protesters. Some of them are on bicycles, you see there, with flags. There's somebody with an American flag taken to the intersection, and now travel eastbound on Victory has the green light, and they're having to go around the protesters. So this is something you don't want to see, and we know the LAPD is monitoring this closely, and we would expect to see some officers arriving here shortly, if only to get those protesters to the safety of the sidewalk and not allow them to be in the middle of the street. It's dangerous for them, it's dangerous for everybody.
It's a reminder that there have been protests in many parts of Southern California today. Obviously, the big one we've been following has been in the downtown LA area. This being Van Nuys, not surprising to see on Saturday night protests pick up or start elsewhere. They were scheduled for various times throughout Southern California. But the people in the street, that is concerning because that is dangerous. That is where cars are driving, and you don't want somebody to get hurt or hit. You have people who are watching across the nation who might support, should support peaceful protest, but blocking traffic, that's not part of it. Being in this middle of the street, that's not part of it. Right now we're watching a fairly small crowd there in Van Nuys, but they seem to be quite vocal and exercising their right to speak out. But in the middle of the road there, where somebody could get hit or hurt or an accident happen, that is a little more concerning, even though it's a small group right now.
That's right, Van Nuys and Victory Boulevard. Van Nuys Boulevard has been the scene of protests all day long, starting early this morning. But again, this is the first time that we're seeing protesters take to the middle of the street. We know that LAPD is keeping a close eye. Now we see a car going, oh no, it's trying to make a right turn, but you have people in the middle of the intersection, and you have people also in the crosswalk. And now the green light is obviously on Victory, and you still have those people in the middle of the street there. And traffic is very heavy on Victory and Van Nuys Boulevard. At any hour, it's usually very busy.
And then you think of a Saturday night where not everybody in LA went to the protest. Just making my way here, I was thinking of all the people who were going about their day in whatever fashion. Some were wanting to watch the parade celebrating the Army's birthday on television. President Trump did speak as well. So you have that counter picture of what happened in Washington, D.C. with the counter picture of the No Kings protests across the nation. This is a Saturday night in the Van Nuys area, very far from downtown LA for people who don't know the area. Van Nuys is in the valley, as we say. It is north of the 134 freeway. It is near the 405 freeway. We're downtown, obviously, near very different freeways. There is no curfew in this area like there is in that 1 square mile area of the downtown LA area. I'm thinking of motorists who may not want to be a part of this or get caught up in this. This is an area then to avoid, the Van Nuys area. Van Nuys and Victory. It can be alarming to get caught up in people in the street. It can feel alarming to not know where to go or not want to hit somebody. But there you have a crowd there who feels that they want to make their voices heard in the middle of the street. You have that white car. I don't know if they're able to make a left. They're trying to make a left. Their cars are trying to navigate around the people there.
And I understand that LAPD may be on the way there now. They're also monitoring the situation. I wanted to see if we could go to our other camera right now, the one that I believe is on 2nd, where I understand arrests are being made right now. Do we have that other camera up that we can take a look? This is our other camera. We're just sort of moving around to get a better shot, but we understand that on 2nd, arrests were now being made and people were seen being taken into custody. But that camera, I'm not sure if that's this camera or we do see the flashing lights of police officers. Mario Ramirez is on his way to LAPD headquarters right now for an official update, hopefully from the chief of police, Jim McDonnell. And you're looking live. This is downtown Los Angeles, and we understand that some people were being taken into custody. And we will get the numbers of people arrested. Hundreds have now been arrested during this 8 days of protest. Today's the 8th day, and we expect the numbers to be significantly higher tomorrow. The curfew did work for a while. It's not working.
What you're watching is a live feed from
It may be.
Los Angeles near Van Nuys area. It should be live. It should be a live feed. That's what I'm hoping. From like some random Fox News out in LA.
These are the boarded up businesses that you were seeing in downtown Los Angeles. That yesterday we walked all of Little Tokyo, and businesses boarded up and closed. Now, I don't know if we have, do we have the mayor on the line already?
We do. Mayor Karen Bass, thank you so much for joining us. Christine Devine here with Gigi Graciette on a Saturday night. As you're watching live what's happening in downtown LA right now, the curfew on for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like a full ladies' night.
Well, I think the city stands enforcing the curfew. Overall, today was peaceful, considering how many protests took place. There were about 15 different protests all around the city. And of course, we were most concerned about the protests downtown. There were some difficulties there, but we are hopeful that we will be able to quickly get people to disperse without a lot of arrests for unlawful assembly or curfew violations. Over the last couple of days, that's where we have been. The number of arrests have dropped considerably. But of course, you know, this protest was one that was planned for months. That really was not about ICE. It was more about the military parade and the overreach of the administration. But then, of course, when the raids happened, then that expanded the view of the reason for the protest, but I'm sure it also contributed to thousands more people being in the streets that would have been.
Now, Mayor, obviously the city, the LAPD was prepared for the worst, but you specifically asked for peace, and you specifically asked that people not be violent because it would just feed into the rhetoric that's coming, that people, this perception that they have. President Trump said if it wasn't for him and if it wasn't for the National Guard, we would all be burning down right now. And you asked them not to be violent, not to feed into the rhetoric. This has to be disheartening.
Well, no, I mean, look, the way, especially if you view how the president characterized the city, you know good and well, especially when it comes to the downtown area, that this is a small slice of Los Angeles that is 500 square miles. So, of course, I'm always disappointed in any act of violence, but things are not in chaos, and the National Guard is not participating in the way that the president has described. He's acting as though the National Guard saved the day. I think, first of all, LAPD, the sheriffs, and the surrounding police departments were there, handled things. They are continuing to handle things, and the federalized National Guard is not needed.
Where do we go from here? So that the national protests, as you mentioned, were well planned in advance, happened today. We know Homeland Security is still doing operations, ICE still doing operations, National Guard is still here. We saw some walking by in one of our shots. This is not over for the city of LA, for the greater LA area.
No, it's not over, and frankly, I don't think it will be over until it's clear when the federal government will stop the raids. One of the things that has been most challenging about what is going on is that we've been operating by rumor, in the sense that there's all these sightings of the military, all these sightings of of the National Guard, and because we don't exactly know, because there hasn't been the communication, it's created a sense of insecurity and uncertainty. But I will tell you that today, I was in the helicopter for quite a while. I went to every site that had been listed as a site of protest, and I mentioned there were 15 of those locations, and every single one of them was completely peaceful. In some cases, the protest had ended by the time I flew over. And as I was flying over, LA, the downtown LA, was getting a little, we were concerned about where that was going. And that's when the police had the horses and moved the crowd back. But it seems as though it is under control now. It's early. It's only 8:30. So we have a lot more to go tonight, but I am hoping that people will be peaceful and that we will not have a lot of arrests. We only had 19 yesterday.
And Mayor, what is your message? You mentioned that you know, and we know because we live here, that this is contained to an extremely small area in downtown Los Angeles. But people who don't live here, that feed into the national rhetoric that they're hearing, don't necessarily know that. What is your message tonight?
Well, my message to them is to clarify what exactly is happening in LA, and I appreciate your network for joining in, because you talk about something that's discouraging. It's when networks essentially cover something that is completely false and show tapes over and over again of stuff that had happened days before. So my message to LA has been consistent. It's to be peaceful. It's if you actually care about immigrants, you are not going to be violent. And if you are violent, then we know that you're just being violent. It is not on behalf of any cause. And we will deal with you. You will be held accountable. But if you look at the tens of thousands of people that were downtown in LA today in that protest, it was overwhelmingly peaceful. And I just hope the stragglers that have not gone home will remain peaceful, will leave the area, or will understand that they will be arrested and they will be held accountable.
All right, Mayor Karen Bass, I know we have limited time with you, so we'll say thank you for coming on with us here on a Saturday night as Fox 11 continues to monitor Southern California. We appreciate your thoughts. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. We know that it's been limited to a small area. What are we looking at? Oh,
that is the lawmaker in Minnesota who was killed today. We know, Gigi, our day started out in a very tragic way as we learned of a lawmaker and her husband who were killed. Another lawmaker and his wife were shot beforehand. A manhunt has been underway for this gunman who was dressed in a police uniform with a police vehicle, and they are looking for that man.
That right, that manhunt continues in Minnesota.
Wonder if that guy's a steel toe
identified
fan.
as Vance Bolter. He is accused of shooting and killing State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, and also shooting State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. They were both shot. They survived. They were out of surgery, but still in critical condition. Police say that the killer had a hit list with him with nearly 70 names of other Democrat politicians.
We understand that
peaceful discourse is the foundation of our democracy. We don't settle our differences with violence or at gunpoint.
So we understand that Minnesota State Senator John Hortman and his wife, they were also shot multiple times. This happening at the homes of these lawmakers. Well, they're out of surgery. They are expected to survive. Again, we talked about that suspect, Vance Bolter, who's reportedly seen on a home surveillance camera posing as a police officer. We should note the FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for his capture.
And in other news, a rainy day and a relatively sparse crowd greeted President Trump's military parade in Washington, D.C. today. It was the largest military parade in decades, held to mark the Army's 250th birthday, which coincided with Trump's 79th birthday.
Today we commemorate
happy birthday, Donnie.
An event that did not just change American history, but changed the history of the entire world. with the creation of America's Army on June 14th, 1775.
And the president spoke praising the Army during the parade as more than 6,000 soldiers marched by. And we return to our continuing coverage of the protests in downtown Los Angeles, primarily peaceful. That is important to stress, as tens of thousands of people took to the streets here in the Los Angeles area this morning, starting very early, but at 4:30 this afternoon, things did deteriorate when LAPD officers reported that they were being pelted with rocks, bottles, and bricks from an overpass. A dispersal order was issued. Some protesters did not want to leave. And then things just turned chaotic. Several arrests, we understand, have been made.
And noting right here, it is now dark out. You can see the posture there of the LAPD officers. Very calm, very peaceful, not a protester in sight with our shot here. Reminder that curfew is in place. LAPD with that huge show of officers on the ground and with their vehicles. They were able to push that crowd back from Grand Park with that curfew in place, that dispersal order in place. You can see in our shot right here, very calm in this spot in downtown LA.
And tens of thousands of demonstrators did take to the street early this morning, calling out what they say are dangerous power grabs by President Trump.
Fox 11's Gina Silva reports from downtown LA.
Thousands of people packed the streets of downtown LA.
Stop terrorizing our families!
To take part in a nationwide protest called No Kings, all aimed at pushing back against President Trump's policies and what they see as growing authoritarianism.
What's going on is a joke in Washington right now. The man is blatantly trying to take over our country. It's an authoritarian takeover.
After the scapegoating of the supposed bad guys, after stealing our money, our tax money for bull, excuse my French, the next step is tyranny.
From the steps of City Hall, law enforcement kept a close eye on the crowd, watching for any signs of trouble. With every chant, every sign, people out here are hoping their messages get through.
I'm a daughter of immigrants, and I'm proud of my parents and their sacrifice and what they did to give me a better life. And I know thousands of others just like me are here protesting and speaking up for their parents, and that's what I'm doing.
You know, if we're not speaking up, we're complicit, and we have to make our voices heard.
For many like Adam, seeing members of their community taken by ICE is exactly why they're out here protesting.
Seeing families being torn apart, it's not right. You know, it shouldn't be happening in this country. These people helped build this nation, and it's just, it hurts me inside to see it.
Stop the raids!
It's terrible. It's terrible. It really makes me feel sick. It's depressing. You know, it's, how can I put it? It's just something that shouldn't be happening at all.
Outside City Hall, this demonstration received a lot of attention. Russian activists with a bold message.
I am an activist from Russia. I spent 2 years in jail because I was there under a political criminal case for a peaceful protest, and it started to feel a lot like that.
It's very powerful. I'm kind of shaking inside because I fear that's what we're moving towards, and I'm born and raised here. I am the granddaughter of Mexican immigrants. I'm scared, but I won't be scared into silence.
Protesters say this is just the beginning. They promise to keep demonstrating until their voices are heard. Reporting from downtown LA, I'm Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
And similar demonstrations took place nationwide today in cities like New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and Philadelphia.
Back here at home, we take you to Culver City today for more protests as well. You can see the crowds there took over an entire street there in Culver City. And now another vantage point of the No Kings protest, also Culver City there. About 1,000 people taking to the streets in that area.
And Fox 11's Stu Mandel was overhead in Sky Fox, and he gave us this report.
Skyvox, it's the No Kings Day, and we're not over downtown Los Angeles.
Alright, so I beat the monster in the caves. I got what I needed. Now I gotta get back to the village there to cure Rosa, that character. And we'll see where we go from here.
Taking over the street out here, still very peaceful this afternoon, but you can see that this is another protest in Los Angeles, but this one in the Culver City area. I'm Stu in Skyvox, sending it back to y'all.
Join Mario Ramirez live at LAPD headquarters, where I believe he's with Chief McDonald. Mario?
Yeah, Gigi, that's right. Chief Jim McDonald joining me now to give us an update really on how this has all been playing out. Thanks for joining us here on such a busy night. Can you walk us through how this played out? We know there was large crowds here early in the afternoon, early in the morning, and it was peaceful and things took a turn.
Yeah, it was. It's a real shame because the day started out very peaceful. We had about 30,000 people here expressing their feelings and exercising their First Amendment rights. Our job is to protect that, and we did that very well. And then about mid-afternoon or a little bit later, we started to see some of the folks come out, the agitators that come in. Many of them come in from out of town, very sophisticated as far as having two-way radios and strategies to be able to move the crowd around, divert police from one place to another. Well practiced in this kind of event. And things changed. Officers and deputies started taking rocks and bottles over here by the LA Mall, and at that point, when it became violent and endangered people in the environment, peaceful protesters and others who were there, officers declared an unlawful assembly, gave sufficient time for everybody to leave, declared it a couple of times, and ultimately then had to deploy gas to be able to clear the street. That was effective, along with some crowd management, crowd control techniques, and they were able to clear that area. And it's been kind of a cat and mouse game since then. Now we have curfew, so that's a tool that is very helpful to us. Anybody out who doesn't have a reason to be in the area between now 8 o'clock and 6 in the morning is subject to arrest, and they will be arrested if they're here causing trouble.
And we did see some of that activity. We saw fireworks being thrown, commercial-grade fireworks at officers, rocks and bottles, even some thrown from apartment buildings up above.
What are they firing, like bottle rockets at them or something?
The dispersal orders and calling that, making that call to clear people out.
You know, when it's clear that things become of sufficient magnitude that people are going to get hurt in the environment, either people who are there or officers who are there, then out of a responsibility to be able to maintain public safety, we declare an unlawful assembly, and again we give people ample time to leave the area, make repeated dispersal orders, make sure everybody hears it, and then at that point they're subject to arrest.
And what's your message to the city as the curfew is now in place? We know some people are still out here on the streets, very few for what we've seen compared to even a little hour or two ago, a short time ago.
Yeah, the crowd has decreased. I'd say we have, the last estimate I heard was between 1,000 and 2,000 people still out, but splintered all over the downtown area. No major groups like we saw earlier in the day, and I think the curfew will take care of many of those folks moving out of the area. And so my ask is, this is our city. This is the most beautiful city, I believe, maybe one of them in the world, and we're better than that to allow this kind of thing.
Hello, Chile and Chile. We're just listening to some live reports from Los Angeles while playing Final Fantasy here. I finished the big boss, and now I'm trying to make my way back out of these caves to get back to the village to continue on the journey.
Engaging, taking anyone into custody, not even really on the lines, the skirmish lines with police. What's that protocol like? Who handles what with the National Guard?
No, great question, and I've heard a lot of different accounts from different people on TV, but the reality is they have a mission separate from ours. The National Guard and the Marines then embedded together, and their job is to protect federal employees, federal facilities, and federal functions, not to do what we do in the city of Los Angeles, which is to protect public safety in our communities. So two different missions, two different silos, if you will. We're not working with them on immigration enforcement in any way, and they're not working with us on crowd control in the city streets.
Now, again, as that curfew went into place at 8 o'clock, we're getting closer to the 9 o'clock hour. What's the plan moving into tonight? How many officers are out here on the streets, and what are we looking for?
Yeah, there's a lot of officers out here on the streets. I wouldn't give a number. That wouldn't be probably prudent, but our folks are out here deployed very heavily.
Wish I would have found
We
this
still
spot
have mutual
before
aid
I fought that
resources
big
with us,
monster.
primarily the CHP and the LA County Sheriff's Department.
It is what it is. This is basically a spot where, sweet. Yeah, it's basically like a free save point. And you use a tent. It will restore everyone's health and magic. Dude, nothing happened today, any of these fucking stupid protests earlier. No good action. The only thing interesting was that in Minnesota, some lawmakers got shot, and they're on a manhunt, and they already know who the culprit is, and the FBI already has like a reward out for the guy and shit. So, we'll see what happens. Probably nothing gonna happen tonight, though.
Officers injured to some degree, but I'll tell you, we've had people drive into them in the crowd. We've had people have Molotov cocktails are being used. We've had commercial-grade fireworks being shot at them, hit in the face with rocks and bottles, and they get treated medically and get back out in the field and get into the mix again. The spirit is great. I have so much admiration for our folks, the restraint that they've shown out there since we've been out here, and just their willingness to be able to put themselves in harm's way to protect the community. Really impressed.
You have a long history in law enforcement, but you've been in this position. You're fairly new as the police chief here. How does that play into your approach here?
I grew up in this organization. I spent 29 years here, my first trip, and then went to Long Beach PD for 5, was sheriff for 4, and consulting and working at USC at a think tank on public safety issues. And to be able to be back in the environment that meant so much to me, was so much a part of who I am, I feel blessed and honored.
I don't know. I know they released the guy's name and picture and stuff. I don't think he was a shoolie, but it being Minnesota, it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe this guy's like a steel toe fan. So, gonna keep my ears and eyes out for that. That'd be interesting, After all said and done, one of Steel Toe's biggest supporters goes and commits multiple homicides. Wouldn't surprise me.
That we reevaluate that every day. Ultimately, the mayor will make the decision on that. But it's been a great tool for us to preserve businesses so they're not vandalized at night. And ultimately, I think it's been a tremendous help to us in getting to where we are this far.
Chief, we have Gigi Graciette and Christine Devine on the news desk right now. We definitely appreciate you joining us out here again on such a busy night, but we want to, if you guys have any questions back there on the desk for the chief here, we are standing by.
Mario, if you could please ask the chief, we had one of the organizers of the No Kings Los Angeles protest on just a short while ago, and he seemed to imply that it was the LAPD who escalated the violence. And we heard calls here at the station of officers taking frozen bottles, rocks, and bricks being thrown at them. Does he want to respond to that so we have some clarity?
Yeah, Gigi was saying earlier they had heard from one of the No Kings Day organizers here in downtown LA saying that it was the LAPD that initially agitated things with rubber bullets or tear gas. What's your response to that notion that the LAPD is pushing back ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely not. We have so many people out here making sure that things go right. The restraint that I've seen shown is remarkable, really, when I see what our officers are subjected to on and on and on throughout the day, now over a week period of time. And so, we
These
look very
protests
closely
are the
at
most
that. We
boring
make
as
sure we
fucking
hold our
things
officers
happening,
to a high
man.
level of
I was saying earlier how back in '92 in LA, man, those were some real riots, you know. They were pulling people out of Mack trucks, hitting them with bricks and dancing right on live TV. I mean, those were the good old days. Today, these people are just too soft out there. And they were showing a scene from Chicago earlier, and on the front line there, where the crowd, met up with the mall police. There's a guy literally cosplaying as a mime character, like in front of the cops. I'm like, what the hell is this? This ain't a goddamn riot. Like, it's bullshit. I want to see some fucking action, man.
Vine on the desk, recalling the 1992 riots, and with these immigration raids moving forward, demonstrators say they're not stopping here. Right. What are your concerns moving forward ahead with these demonstrations that are continuing to be planned here?
Well, number one, that they remain peaceful. We're here to support anybody's right to demonstrate, to protest, and to express their First Amendment rights. That's what we do. For those who cross the line and try and hurt others, try and vandalize the environment or cause havoc, we're going to be able to identify them and hold them accountable for that. And I'm fairly comfortable that now we'll start to see fewer and fewer people engaging in that activity and make it easier for us to be able to identify them and make arrests.
Question. So if people are capturing things on video, they're posting it on social media, that they feel the officer in that shot might have done something that was not in policy, how does the chief and the department address that if something is perceived as being not in policy?
Yeah, Christine's asking if someone does maybe videotape record any action between demonstrators and officers that might not follow protocol. Right. How is that handled? Maybe body-worn camera footage. Is there a point where that will be shared at all?
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, there's so many cameras in the environment a police officer operates in. When they're in the vehicles, they have digital in-car camera video. They have body-worn camera on their body, and then you go anywhere and there's.
It's so lame. Like everyone just holds up their phones and everything, hoping to be like the next viral sensation or catch the video that everybody's gonna play on all the news outlets and shit. It's a fucking joke out there, man. And Trump, he was in fucking DC today doing his it was the Army's 250th birthday, and that's where he was hanging out and everything. They could get no, they're not taking other shit seriously because they can't.
Happening in Los Angeles, when I have relatives who write and call me, how are the riots? What would the chief say about his view of what's happening? What would he say to the nation?
Yeah, your view to the nation on what's happening, considering people from all over the country, all over the world might be watching this and checking in on people who live here, sure, wondering exactly what's going on. How would you describe what's playing out here?
It's very localized. I think the way it's portrayed in many media outlets is that LA is upside down. It's on fire. It's chaotic. It's, I would say, all of this activity that has been portrayed over the past week, it is occurring within 1 square mile. The city's 500 square miles, and we're getting a handle on this and take an appropriate action. So I would say, come out and see. This is the most beautiful city in the world. We have so much to offer here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. What I do is before I head back to that village with the Rosetta Stone, or whatever the fuck I just got from beating that guy to help restore Rosa back there, I'm gonna go try this cave again. I tried it earlier, but obviously I didn't have nearly enough power or anything to do anything in here, but I'm just gonna see what's up.
On this night to the president, who says that we need the National Guard here or LA would be burning.
Yeah, Trump has said that he sent the National Guard here for good reason. Otherwise, the city would be burning. Hundreds of Marines are now here as well. What's your message to the administration and President Trump as he continues to tout his push of the military force here?
It wouldn't be to the president, but it would be to the public that the mission of the Army National Guard and the Marines that have joined them is very different than our mission. Their focus is to protect federal facilities, federal employees, and federal functions, and they're doing that, working with ICE and other agencies that have been deployed as well. Our mission is to
Yeah, the National Guard's there because all these protesters' goal is to like march towards the ICE building, like these federal buildings. So the people that enforce or help police the federal areas are, of course, federal employees. Hence, that's why the National Guard is there. It's nothing to do with anything else but just protecting federal property. That's all.
The message to those who've done things here, we're coming for you. The investigation is not over. We will follow up and hold people accountable beyond what they believe will happen.
All right, I'm done.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mario.
Yep.
And thank you, Chief, LAPD Chief Jim McDonald. Mario Ramirez joining us live from downtown Los Angeles. You are looking live at a much different scene. This is on Hill Street right now, and no protesters in sight. It has been a slightly chaotic afternoon after a day of peaceful protests here in Los Angeles and across the country. We're going to have much more coming up on Fox 11 News with Christine Devine at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we continue to watch what's been happening across Southern California. Obviously, a big day on the national front as well. We'll bring you that full update on the news at 10 p.m. as we kind of pull everything together, sum up what started out as a volatile day with those lawmakers being shot and one killed, and the spouse also killed in Minnesota. So we will have a full day of news with Israel as well. It's a lot on a Saturday in our planet Earth. Right.
Thank you for watching Fox 11. We'll be back at 10 o'clock sharp with a recap of the day's activity.
What are they going off the air now? What time is it? 12. So it's 9 o'clock in LA. God damn, you just finally find something to fucking watch and then it fucking ends. Alright, let me fuck around and see what we got here, because this is where I had to go to begin with. Yeah, whatever, broad. Alright, I'm here. Alright, let's do this. Yeah, I got the sand ruby. Alright, here we go. There goes nothing. Alright, wake up, bitch. Alright, we're gonna find something to watch in a second once I fucking do this here. I heard that you were lost since the earthquake and mess, but I couldn't believe it. I'm sorry. I worried you. By the way, Rosa, who is Golbez? The king invited him to the Red Wings. The king is not the same as he used to be. It seems he has nothing more than Golbez puppet to collect all the crystals. The crystals of water from... I can't pronounce these fucking names. Is already in his hands. But other crystals, the crystals of fire, is it... The fuck is that? Damn air is in Fabul and earth is in Torah. God damn it. Crystal of fire is already gone. Oh well. That's the girl Kinky of the Mist. Okay, yes, thank you. Next talk is Fabul. We must hurry. Cough, cough. Cough, cough. You must rest. We'll go. No, fuck that. She's coming too. It's the only goddamn reason we're here. But yeah, okay, that's where I was. So I need fire. Yes, you can. It's the only fucking thing. Oh, black magic should be easy for you, Kiki. Cough, 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 cough. All right. God damn it. I hope she fucking joins the goddamn party. Yeah, let her fucking... Come on, more the merrier. Oh, God, this fucking guy. Finally, alright. Now we're up to 4. We got the 4 horsemen here. Alright, blah, blah, blah. Alright, what was I up to? Oh, yeah. Alright, we're gonna take a little pause for the cause here. And I'm gonna find something to watch. Let me take that off the fucking screen. Alright, MLC is over. That's over. What was I watching? What's this? Manhunt? Alright, we're gonna check this out instead. Give me a second here, we'll load it up. Can you hear that? Alright, hold on. My favorite game growing up. Dude, depends on what system, man. Like, I grew up, like, I remember, like, I think everyone played Nintendo. I had the Super Nintendo. My brother, older brother, he had a Sega. The Sega was cool. Sega had a lot of cool games, different than, and, you know, there was a difference between, Sega and Nintendo growing up. I was a Super Nintendo guy. My brother was the Sega dude. Alright, hold on a minute here. Alright, bear with me here. Manhunt continues for suspect in shooting death in Minnesota line. Alright, so this is from Minnesota here.
The specifics is part of the active investigation, but there is video that has been obtained by the investigators.
We're live, we're doing it. Alright, good. Alright, get out of here with that.
So, yeah, we can, the question is, can we talk about some of the other locations? You know, because their teams are very active as part of an active investigation, I can't talk about the specifics. What I will tell you is the 2 locations you noted.
I found it the other day because
Green Isle, they are related to this investigation.
Because Tukey was on it. I watched that. Why should I snipe Pat Dixon?
It would be premature. The question was, is the manifesto and the information that we have received as their motivations. We are working diligently on that. There's certainly some indications within that, but there's not specifics enough. We have been, this is a very active and fluid investigation. Throughout the day, as you've been waiting and these teams have been out working out in the field, and they have been gathering more documents and information. So it would be premature for me at this point to really say exactly what the motivation might be from these writings, but we will be continuing to work on that and provide that information when we're able.
Did they know each other? Like, did this man know either Representative Portman or Senator Hawkins in any capacity?
Alright, I don't know what's going on here. Anna is a character that died earlier in the game when this OJ fella joined our tribe. And I don't know what if he's losing his mind or what. Believe in yourself. Whatever.
Slide away for a 2-minute commercial break.
fucking commercial. Oh, god damn it. We'll be right back. Alright, hopefully they come back with something decent. My suggestion is to just search Pat Dixon. I think his channel's called I don't know what his dude. Honestly, I don't know what his channel is. I remember I just searched like Pat Dixon something, and then I eventually found it. But yeah, I think the Tukey episode is still up. Anna. OJ dear, I must go now. Anna, don't go. Don't leave me alone. OJ, do not let Gomez have all the crystals. You loved me. Now give your love to all of your people. Alright. That was odd as shit. I will, Anna. What am I supposed to do now, Anna? I don't know. Do what you have been doing is jack shit. I've been fucking leading the goddamn lie here. Alright, Fatal Black. Alright, we doing it? What's going on? Let's go, alright. Alright, hold on. Alright, we're back.
At the military parade in D.C., let's listen to what he had to say.
This is from earlier today during at D.C. for the Army birthday.
Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you to Vice President Vance. And thank you to our wonderful First Lady. And above all, thank you to the greatest, fiercest, and bravest fighting force ever to stride the face of this earth, the United States Army. Thank you very much. Because the Army keeps us free, you make us strong, and tonight you have made all Americans very proud. They're watching from all over the world, actually. Made them all very proud. Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight. And watching this magnificent display, our souls are filled with gratitude for every generation of warriors who have worn the uniform all the way back to the very beginning. So to every veteran across our land, and right here in our nation's capital, including 6 recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor, we love you, we honor you, and we salute your noble service.
Yeah, well, you forgive somebody that punched you in the face, though? I mean, it seemed weak if he did, but I don't know. Is Gino really even worth like renewing that friendship over? I don't know. You never know with these people.
To the Gold Star families with us today, the courage of your heroes is the bedrock on which our entire nation stands. We thank you. Yes, we thank you. Today we commemorate an event that did not just change American history, but changed the history of the entire world. With the creation of America's Army on June 14th, 1775, liberty got its shield and the freedom got its sword. Those first Army patriots in the American Revolution fought against a fearsome enemy and impossible odds, but they were armed with a righteous cause. They were led by an indomitable commander, a truly great man, General George Washington, and they were united by an eternal creed. Their motto is victory or death. Over the past 2.5 centuries, our warriors have shown unrivaled valor on fields of battle around the globe. With the frostbitten feet and bloody fist, they have marched into the flames and fury of combat, charged up mountains, stormed beaches, waded through torrents of gunfire, and leapt into skies thick with smoke and shrapnel. The U.S. Army has driven bayonets into the heart of sinister empires, crushed the ambitions of evil tyrants. Beneath the threads of American tanks, it's done so well, it's done so much, and sent the devil himself flying into full retreat. Time and again, America's enemies have learned that if you threaten the American people, our soldiers are coming for you. Your defeat will be certain, your demise will be final, and your downfall will be total and complete. Because our soldiers never give up, never surrender, and never, ever quit. They fight, 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 and they win, win, win. And that's why no institution in history has entered more names into the roster of American heroes than the U.S. Army, the Congressional Medal of Honor, more than anyone or anything. There was Mad Anthony Wayne, asked by George Washington to lead a daring midnight raid up the cliffs of Stony Point with unloaded muskets and only their bayonets to fight the redcoats. Mad Anthony replied, "Issue the order, sir, and I will storm into hell for you." Then there was the Civil War general, John Corse, shot in the face in combat. He fired off a message to his commander: "I am short a cheekbone and one ear, but I am able to whip the hell out of all of them." He stayed on the front lines, it seemed forever. In World War II, there was the great Creighton Abrams, besieged on all sides by the Nazis at the Battle of the Bulge. He boldly proclaimed, "They've got us surrounded again, the poor bastards." This is the fighting spirit and unyielding force of the U.S. Army. It has never changed, and it will never, ever change, because there is no earthly force more powerful than the brave heart of a U.S. infantryman or an Army Ranger, paratrooper, or Green Beret. They are the best, they are the finest. From Bunker Hill to San Juan Hill, from Gettysburg to Guadalcanal, from Yorktown to Shiloh, and from the trenches of the Argonne to the mountains of Afghanistan, the Army has forged a legacy of unmatched courage, untold sacrifice, and unequaled and undying glory. Our soldiers have poured out their blood by the bucketful on Missionary Ridge and Heartbreak Ridge, on the sands of Sicily, Normandy, and the Philippines, and on the dusty streets of Da Nang, Baghdad, and Fallujah. Thanks to their extraordinary service and devotion, 250 years later, America stands tall, America stands proud, and America stands free. We're the hottest country in the world right now. And our country will soon be greater and stronger than ever before. Down through history, we've been blessed beyond words by this valiant legion of Army warriors and patriots, heroes and legends. And tonight we affirm with unwavering certainty that in the years ahead and in every generation hence, whenever duty calls and whatever danger comes, the American soldier will be there. No matter the risk, no matter the obstacles, our warriors will charge into battle. They will plunge into the crucible of fire, and they will seize the crown of victory, because the United States of America will always have the grace of Almighty God and the iron will of the United States Army. Congratulations to everybody. We love our country. We've never done better. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the Army, and God bless America. And now I'd like to ask our great First Lady to join me at the podium. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Flown over our nation's capital in free fall during the Army's 250th birthday celebration.
Donnie loves this song, man. And I gotta give credit to Melania. I'm a Melania guy. Alright, let's listen.
President Trump speaking earlier today in D.C. Let's take a break. Back in 2 minutes.
Another fucking 2-minute goddamn break. Yeah, so now we're going, all four of us now are hopping in the hovercraft here and making our way over to this fucking mountain of caves. How the fuck am I fucking lost again, god damn it? Alright, here we go. I think I found, alright, this is the way. Alright, here we are. Alright, everybody. Oh, now what? Oh. Yeah, you can do it. Don't be a bitch. I hate fun. Who gives a fuck, man? Oh, get over it. It's a bigger mission at hand. Yeah. You know, try and put yourself first, pal.
First Lady Melania Trump in attendance. Vice President Vance, Secretary Hegseth. Millions of pounds of military hardware rolled down the U.S. Capitol's streets. This is the largest military parade the city has seen in decades. And there's their closing slate to wrap up the event. We still have a live vantage point of the stage itself. Standing by is my friend and presidential historian, James Robinault. He's been watching this along with me today. And James, you and I discussed the idea of doing this interview after the parade. You and I have been discussing this for weeks at this point, and I know you researched the history of the Army in preparation for today's segment. Did anything stick with you during your readings? Let's talk a little bit about the Army. That's what this was all about, after all.
Yeah, you know, we'll talk about why people feel conflicted about this particular event, but I think most people deeply admire our military and the Army. And the one thing I'll say, Austin, is that it's interesting as I watched all the testimonials that they played of different people talking about it, a lot of them talked about their family being in the Army for generations. And I think to a lot of people, the Army is like family. So this is very much a birthday party and a family type event for many people. It is for me too. My ancestors were in the Continental Army. And then I had two great-grandfathers who fought in the Civil War for Ohio Volunteer Infantries.
Fucking
One of them was
brag.
Timothy Patrick Kelly, who was an Irish immigrant who came over because of the famine and then enlisted. And then my mom and my dad were both in the military in World War II. My dad was in the U.S. Airborne, very much a band of brothers kind of guy. His group came in to Europe right after the Battle of the Bulge. And my mom was a Navy Wave who went to help with the Navy administration. So this stuff, I think we can talk about the reasons people are conflicted about this particular event. But the Army itself, I think there's pretty universal admiration. And it's also so interesting to me that this feels like so many people talk about their family being involved in the military generation after generation.
Do you feel like our country's history is sometimes forgotten by the newer generations, like the fact that the Army is 250 years old? Do you think there's lots of young people learning that fact today?
Oh, undoubtedly, and I think there are a lot of older people too, you know, who don't know that we had an army a year before the Declaration of Independence, which was pointed out as in one of these videos that they showed. And so I do think a lot of people are unaware of the history of the Army and of its sacrifices and its troubles and everything that it went through in our country's history to get us to where we are now. But I think that most people still instinctively have this admiration for people who have served and who, you know, take on our adversaries and keep us free. I think people feel about that, but they really need to understand in more depth what the Army, where it came from, where it went through, what it went through, and you know what got us to today.
So you, no doubt, saw many of the images that we've been showing for the past few hours. Army members marching down the streets. We saw an impossible, not an impossible, but almost lots and lots of military hardware, including images like this. You mentioned why there's been a lot of discussion about an event like this. James, what are you alluding to?
Yeah, so I think that people are uncomfortable with the fact that this coincides with President Trump's birthday. They see it as kind of a backdoor way to celebrate his birthday and to marry his leadership to the Army in a way that makes people uncomfortable. So I think that's one of the things. And I do think that what happened in Los Angeles last week, where we had military forces sent there, now in this case it was Marines, not Army, but military forces and National Guard, to deal with protests when the governor and the local officials did not want them there. So I think that obviously we saw protests all around the country today about that, and so that begins to obscure a little bit, the anniversary celebration here, which is an important anniversary, but maybe it would have been better to have it on the 4th of July or some other time rather than the coincidence of President Trump's birthday.
So the images of tanks rolling through the streets, Army members marching, I mean, do military parades like this happen in America, James? Again, you researched this before you and I hopped on to discuss this today. Have we seen anything like this before in D.C.?
We have, but it's rare. And what we've seen when there are military parades outside of, holidays like 4th of July and Memorial Day, and some inaugurations, and we can talk about that too. Outside of that, military parades in our country have always been after military victories. So the granddaddy of them all is the Grand Review after the Civil War, which was a 2-day affair in Washington, marching down in front of the White House. Andrew Johnson was then the president, newly installed because of Lincoln's assassination. General Grant sat with him. General Sherman sat with him. And the parade was 2 days long. The first day was the Army of the Potomac, which is the Eastern Theater of the Civil War. And the next day was Sherman's Army, which was the Western group. But it's like 150 to 200,000 troops passing by. This, my ancestor, Timothy Patrick.
This guy must be like an old, military historian. But you did mention about the optics of, tanks rolling through the streets of D.C. Even though it's for a parade, it's for a good cause. The Army's 250th birthday today. The same day as Flag Day, and of course Trump's big 79. It's all perspective and how people are going to look at it. It wasn't as like a scare tactic or anything. It's basically just it's a fucking parade. It's a parade put on by the federal government. It's going to be bigger and badder than the parade put on by your fucking local Elks Lodge or some shit like that, or American Legion. It's of course you're gonna have some tanks rolling through. You're gonna have Black Hawks. You're gonna have flyovers. You're gonna bring it out, man. It's the 250th Army celebration, so of course they're gonna go all out there in D.C. What the fuck is this? What the fuck's going on up here? What the hell is this? Some goddamn fucking. The fuck? Oh, this guy's a badass. Karate man. Uh-oh. What, am I in control of this fucking guy? Nope. Just fucking watching.
So there is a real difference about doing it in this way, and I think it's another reason people feel uncomfortable. It's just not a tradition in our country to have military parades like this. It is, for example, Austin.
I mean, you live anywhere like down in the southeast, like around like either Fort Bragg, Fort Campbell, Fort Benning. They're all like Fort Jackson, Lejeune, Parris Island. They're all. Even the Navy fleet in Virginia, like these towns, they always have like parades and celebrations like this because 90% of the fucking people around there are associated with the military base, or friends and family that work there. It's just part of life for them. But when you watch this on like a global scale, and national TV. People are like, oh, what is this? What is this? We got fucking tanks. Yeah, no shit. We got tanks. Should be proud of that,
Spending this much money when we have Doge trying to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse. Now, my own feeling is that it $25 to $45 million, relatively speaking, given the importance of our Army to our history and so forth, is to me understandable on one level. But I think that also troubles people that we have that much money spent. Especially, I think people were more unhappy about bringing all the hardware.
About the price
that might tear
the
up
government spent on all this. That's insane. That's fucking stupid. It's a goddamn party, man. Fucking once in a lifetime. 250 years of the Army. Not many other countries in this fucking world can say that right now. Fuck it, man. Fucking party like it's 1999. Goddamn right. Alright, how can the five of us not beat this fucking thing? Are you shitting me? What the fuck? I don't know what that is. See what that does. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Importance of celebrating the Army, but I think a lot of people found different parts of it disturbing.
I heard instrumental versions of Metallica songs, a Guns N' Roses song. I heard Barracuda at one point. There were a lot of songs. There was the instrumental versions of them, though. We saw some live country music. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I started listening. What are they doing this for? You know, you hear, it's not military music, but I have to tell you, I think I understand why they did it. This was a huge recruiting tool, and they want to appeal to younger people who will see this as, you know, cool to be in the Army. And so I think that was deliberately thought out, and I think that's why you heard that sort of music, which I think, you know, probably Donald Trump didn't even understand why they were doing that music, but I think the Army did. And a lot of their videos in this thing were meant to help them in recruiting and retention, both of which are important. And if you're going to spend this kind of money, you know, get some bang for your buck, no pun intended here, but, you know, get some recruiting out of it. It's important that we recruit the best for our Army, and I think that was why they were playing rock music.
That was one of my questions for you, was going to be with the sources that you talk to, with the connections that you have. I'm sure you've talked about the idea of this parade with lots of people that you're connected with. Have you heard that there is an appetite from some people, whether it be military veterans, whether it just be supporters of the Army, whether it be people who want to see enrollment numbers go up? Have you heard that from anybody?
Take a powder, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have heard that people very much think that it's important to look at. And one of the things I like about this parade is that they went back and they did have, you know, the Continental Army represented, and they did have the various stages of the military represented. So in that way, it very nicely tied the Army with our country and its, you know, its striving to be free and there was a lot of mention of democracy. There was a mention of, you know, taking an oath, swearing allegiance to the Constitution. So to that extent, I was pleased to see that, because I think a lot of people are worried that that President Trump was trying to tie this to his birthday and to an allegiance to him, which is very un-American, although he is the commander-in-chief. So, you know, I think a lot of people in this last week have been, you know, very conflicted because there's so much going on, including these assassinations in Minnesota. I mean, it's just a lot of people are feeling on edge right now. And another time, another place, I think this would be comforting to a lot of people and they would enjoy it a lot more. But I think it's the context right now that's causing the consternation.
We can't talk about this parade without mentioning the fact that around the country, we've been seeing images like this. This is a live vantage point in Los Angeles, I believe. I believe that's the LA Sheriff's Department. We just had a feed drop on us of protests in DC proper as well. Lots of vantage points of police scenes across the country. James,
thank God, now we're 5 deep.
About the last week or so,
party.
We've been seeing lots of anti-Trump protests. We've been seeing lots of anti-ICE protests.
What's in here?
Today, there was a nationwide movement, if you will, called the No Kings movement. This was a idea centered around the idea of reputing the Trump administration. What's your reaction?
I'm gonna go back to that save
some of
point.
the people
Kind of like
that have been
restore
mobilized
everything and everyone.
Basically every major metro around the country, it seems.
No, I haven't played this all day.
There's a very grassroots element to this. in every
Went
movement
off to
like this, there
dinner,
are going to
came
be
back.
agitators and
Then I was
provocateurs
like,
and people who have
curious
their
about
own
trying to get the
agendas. You know, for example, people
the video
floating the
element
Palestinian
they
flag,
playing in the
and to some
corner.
extent, people don't even like
Which
to see
earlier
people
today,
floating the
I just had
Mexican
like
flag,
audio
which is
playing
a
for
little
some
more
random
understandable.
video.
But I think
But I
this,
figured out how to
those
do this.
outside
And I
of
know it might be
those
like
people who
choppy
are,
and shit at first, and
you know, agitating
the controls
in a
and
certain
whatnot.
way.
But at least
What
it's
I see
at least we're
in,
trying to do
in these
something here.
numbers is a very big
You know,
grassroots element that
watch
says,
something.
you know, don't just take people off the streets and deny them due process. That's very un-American. And don't send the military to quash protests that are essentially peaceful. Now, obviously, everybody wants to have secure borders. Everybody wants to, you know, deal with the situation of illegal immigrants.
Oh,
But I think
shit,
the
he's dead now?
heavy-handedness of the last 3 months, especially the last week or two, really started to raise alarm bells for people. And I think a lot of people started thinking, well, you know, this could escalate and this could come to my state. And so that's why I think you see people in every city around the country coming out in very large numbers. Those people, that's grassroots. There are always agitators, but those people seem to be mostly grassroots.
We're dying.
James, I mentioned the idea that we saw protesters in D.C. moments ago. This is what we saw moments ago. This is not live. This is playback of some of the protest activity that we saw in D.C. Just moments ago. Obviously, we expected there to be some sort of protest in the area, not too far away from where the military parade was taking place. So this is D.C., and then let's go to Los Angeles. So we've got images of protests on both coasts. James, where do we go from here? I always like to move ahead when we talk about any subject, and I guess
Yeah, I know the other three people are dead. Don't worry about
what main
it.
threads are you following with the Trump administration? You're joining us during one of the busiest news days I can remember during the Trump administration.
God.
There is these nationwide protests. There's all the anti-ICE raids that have been going on in Los Angeles. There's, in the background of all this, the Israel and Iran conflict that's now seeming to get more and more intense.
Yeah, Israel versus
What are you
Iran.
watching for in the week ahead?
Well,
Battle of the
the thing
century.
I found most interesting,
But they were
Austin,
fighting Palestine or
President
something.
Trump
it wasn't like
saying
Ukraine
that,
and Russia
essentially
going
he was
at
gonna
it, and
walk back some of this
India
ICE,
and Pakistan
some of these
still.
ICE detentions with farmers and others in the hospitality industry. That's a huge change, and it seems to me that I think he was becoming aware of the fact that ICE was going too far in pulling people out of, you know, industries where they are needed. And I think if we can stand back and start to ratchet down a little bit some of these efforts, and also respect the courts as they tell, you know, the administration what to do.
Back to life,
Not
back
tell the
to
administration,
normal.
but as they rule on what the administration is doing to try and, you know, keep things from getting out of hand where people just don't feel secure
Oh, my head.
about what's happening with federal officers. That's got to happen, because I think that, you know, otherwise we're going to have increasing chaos in the streets and increasing protest. And one of the problems you know about that is from our own history, when the Vietnam War was raging and we had protests, you saw what happened when the military turned on students at Kent State University here in Ohio, not far from where I'm sitting.
All right, we're gonna try that
and,
again.
You know, killed
Now
4
that
of them.
those
So
probably should
we've
have
got to keep it under control.
should
We've
have
got to
alive
keep
them before us.
the military to the extent we can
Well,
out of it. We've
let's
got to
see
let
the
local law enforcement handle it.
Oh, well,
And
motherfucker.
if they can't, that's a different story.
Okay,
But
at
they
least
seem to be
everyone's
able
back
to.
in full
And we've got to
fucking.
have people on all sides remember that this has to be
So,
nonviolent protests.
We'll go
or,
back and finish
you know,
up this like
you're
an
not
hour
gonna
in here,
have the
and
leeway of people
figure out where
saying
the fuck we're
that
going next.
the military
Can't get off
shouldn't
this.
get
I'm
involved. If they
basically
see
like trapped on this
violence,
fucking island.
it causes
So the thing
a
I can do
backlash.
is to
And so I think if we can keep temperatures
just to
cool,
just keep.
that's
What the
what
fuck?
I'm hoping for. And as I say, that
that's
signal
cool,
of President Trump saying he will not go
Yeah,
after,
yeah,
you
get
know,
the shit
some
out of 'em there.
of the farm workers and so forth. Hopefully that will extend further to, you know, there's a lot of immigrants that we need in our workforce, and So maybe that will temper things. We'll have to see.
Oh, wait a minute.
We hope to see a calm night here as we go into the evening hours here on the West Coast. James Robinault, as always, we appreciate your insight. Take care. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Okay, Austin, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Another fucking break. Well, they're doing it all right. Gotta pay them bills, I guess, you know. I hear that. Oh, what? Son of a... Fucking make easy. Alright, so all these guys. Nice. Nice fucking bow and arrow there, pal. Well, something done right, the other man do it. Alright, so I gotta go across this fucking bridge. And off we go. Kinda just wanna hurry up and beat this fucking game. What the fuck? Oh. Ah, there we go. Okay, so these guys aren't too bad. Oh, here we go.
Continues.
World War III.
We have been checking in with analysts and experts almost non-stop since we saw Israel and Iran. First, it was Israel striking Iran, targeting nuclear facilities, ballistic missile facilities, high-profile military targets, as well as high-profile scientists as well. You're looking at a live vantage point of Tel Aviv right now. The time is 4:39 in the morning, Israel Standard Time. We do have Mark Dubowitz standing by. He's the CEO of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Mark is here with me. And Mark, as always, we appreciate your time. There is so much going on around the world. We were just watching the protests. We had to get an update in on Israel and Iran. For folks that have been watching the military parade and now the protests, they've been watching that for the past 3 or 4 hours. Maybe they haven't heard any updates on the Middle East. What have people missed in the overnight hours, let's call it, Israel Standard Time? What's been happening?
So, Austin, it's another heavy day of fighting between Israel and the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Israelis have gone in and have taken out...
Blah. Alright, so we made it on the other side of the mountain. Obviously, I lost my hovercraft. Wish I would have had that. I missed that. Use that. So now, of course, we're back to the every 5 fucking steps. I gotta fight a battle.
And on the other end,
looks like fucking...
the Israelis have been very precise in going after regime officials and those in the security establishment. The Iranians have been lobbing hundreds of missiles at Israelis and going after civilians and have killed 11
What's this guy rambling about?
Wounded over 300. So you really see that disparity between Israeli targeted strikes on Iranian security officials and Iranian strikes and the killing of Israeli civilians.
The video that's on our screen right now is video of damage inside Israel. We know that the Iron Dome protects from lots of airborne threats, but it's not perfect. We have seen damage on the ground. We Don't know exactly where this is. This video was fed into our system moments ago. We don't have an exact location. But Mark, one thing that I was asking with the experts a lot yesterday was, are Israel and Iran at war? Are they officially at war? Does it matter at this point? They are fighting.
Well, they're at war. I mean, I don't know if they're officially at war, if there's any sort of an official declaration of war, but they certainly are at war. But I mean, it's very important to understand, Austin, that Iran has been at war with Israel for decades. Israel has shown a remarkable constraint, despite the fact that they have been terrorized.
Both countries in the past 40 hours were firing missiles overnight at each other. I think that kind of answers that question, like a rhetorical fucking question there, buddy.
And I think the Israelis have shown this remarkable restraint, but that all ended after the Iranian-backed Hamas invaded Israel, killed 1,200 Israelis, murdered, tortured, raped, and took hostages, Israeli and Americans hostages, 450 of them. And the Israelis said, that's it. We've shown too much restraint, and now it's time to fight back. And they are fighting back, and hopefully with some success in really demolishing Iran's capabilities, their nuclear weapons capabilities, their missile capabilities, and their terror proxies.
Is this what this has all been building up to for years, decades?
Yeah, for decades. And the Israelis have named this Operation Rising Lion, which is an interesting choice. I mean, I think there's two real interpretations of that. The first is, at some point, I mean, the most dangerous animal in the animal kingdom is the lioness, protecting her cubs. And I think in some respects, this is Israel rising up to really protect its citizens from decades of attacks by the Islamic Republic of Iran. The second interpretation, which I think is equally interesting, is that rising lion, the lion and the sun, are the symbols of the flag of the pre-Islamic Republic Iran, when Iran was not being dominated by the mullahs, the clerics, and the Revolutionary Guards after the Islamist Revolution of 1979. So in some respects, this is a nod to the hope that with these strikes against this security establishment, this apparatus of internal repression, that the Iranian people will be able to come back to the streets as they've been on the streets since 2009 and really take back their flag and take back their country.
Are there any signs that this is going to end anytime soon? The back and forth between Iran and Israel, or does it...
I wanted to switch up and put like obviously you want your strongest people out front. Let me just try to replenish everybody here.
And to the building of nuclear weapons to advance that goal, then clearly the Israelis are not going to be able to allow this to continue. It could end.
This guy sounds like Vince the lawyer talking, if you close your eyes.
If the Supreme Leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, makes the decision to return back to the negotiating table,
alright, that's good enough for that. But 13, 20, 12.
There were 5 rounds of negotiations. But the Iranians were refusing.
Oh, that looks alright. That looks halfway decent at least.
Now, this may be their only option, really, is to return to the negotiating table. If not,
oh, son of a bitch!
The Israeli Air Force continue to be infiltrated by Mossad and suffer severe damage. They also run the risk that the President of the United States may decide to join the Israelis and use U.S. military force to permanently, once and for all, destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program.
Is the Supreme Leader himself a target?
Israelis have made it very clear he is a target. And I think they were holding that in abeyance for now. And I'm warning the Supreme Leader that if he continues firing hundreds and hundreds of ballistic missiles targeting Israeli civilians, then they will go up that escalation ladder. They'll not only hit nuclear sites and military and security, but they'll go after economic targets and ultimately the Supreme Leader, who the Israelis could target and kill at will.
Is there any sort of catalyst that gets the U.S. more involved in this?
Well, I think there are a couple. I mean, the first is that there's despite the really incredible operation that Israel has run that has surprised many analysts, there is a nuclear facility called Fordo, which is buried under a mountain, hundreds of feet deep, and contains Iran's enrichment facilities, where they've been spinning centrifuges and enriching uranium. It's not clear that the Israelis are going to be able to take that site out on their own. They lack the 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrators that the U.S. Air Force has.
If I was
They
Iran,
lack
I'll be
the
arming
B-2
them
strategic
nukes
bombers
right
that you
now as we
need in order
speak.
to carry and drop
Just
that
sitting on
ordnance.
that button.
And so that's where the United States
Ready to
could play a
rock
role
and
after the
roll.
Israelis have cleared and destroyed all the air defenses,
See,
created
I wish I knew. I wish I
a
could
free
see if I could go
pathway
up or
to the Fordo facility, taken out, many of the
bullshit. I said, I wish I could knew if I could go like up or down. Which is the way to go? Go this way. Go my right. No. All right. See, what fucking waste that was. So this will go down here. Blah blah blah. See if we see anything. Now the bottom left corner, it extends out, but I knew it. I would go 2 fucking steps. God damn, look at these fuckers. Alright, hold on, let me do this.
I mean, 80% of Iranians despise this regime. They've been on the streets since 2009. Millions of them yelling death to the dictator, asking American presidents, are you with us or with the dictator? Unfortunately, Presidents Biden and Obama in particular engaged with the dictator, wrote letters to the dictator in order to negotiate. Now, President Trump has done the same thing early in his term, but it's also very clear that President Trump was prepared to provide Israel with the support that it needed, the defensive support and helping protect Israel against missile attacks, but also very close coordination between U.S. Central Command and the Israeli Defense Forces. And I think President Trump appreciated that there was going to be no deal with Iran that would peacefully end this unless there was a credible threat of military force. But I think also all administrations in the U.S. have missed this opportunity to really provide maximum support to the Iranian people. Now, I mentioned they were on the streets in 2009, millions of them. They were also back on the streets every year since 2017, again, yelling death to the dictator. In 2022, brave Iranian women, hundreds of thousands of them, back on the streets, ripping off their hijab, the forced and coercive sort of gender apartheid, as they would call it, that they have to wear these hijabs. And they ripped off the hijabs, took to the streets. The regime mowed them down, killed them, tortured, raped, used chemical weapons against Iranian schoolgirls to break the back of the women life freedom movement. And yet still, Iran is on the streets. There's been a big trucker strike in recent weeks. So there's really, again, 80% of this population that wants to see the end of the Islamic Republic. We don't need to send hundreds of thousands of U.S. troops or Israeli troops into Iran. What we need to do is support the Iranian people, provide them the material support they need, technology, money, perhaps weapons, so that they can actually take back their country and usher in a free and certainly far less threatening
What's
Iran.
over here? Oh, here
What's
we go.
the ultimate long-term goal here? Denuclearized Iran, of course, is the chief goal right now, but are they trying to impose a democracy there eventually?
You're damn right we're waiting for me. Let's go open these fucking gates.
I don't think whether form of government is that important. In my view, whether it's a democracy or a constitutional monarchy, I think the most important thing is it's an Iran free of these radical Islamist clerics, these theocrats that are not only brutally repressive to their own people, but have been threatening America and the region. Not to mention have American blood on their hands. I mean, they've killed and maimed thousands of Americans, and I think as an American,
finally,
I owe a debt of gratitude to the Israelis because they've brought justice to the terrorists backed by Iran who have killed American men and women for years and named them and taken them hostage. So I think the end goal at the end of the day is an Iran that whatever its form of government is not going to threaten the United States and Israel and our Gulf allies, and is going to give its people the opportunity for freedom and prosperity. And this is something that I think the majority of Iranians have demonstrated that they've been yearning for and struggling for since the Islamist revolution of '79 took all of that away from them.
Mark Dubowitz is the CEO of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Always a pleasure, Mark. Thanks. Have a good rest of your night.
Thanks, Austin. Appreciate it.
So, we continue to monitor not only these live images, we've been looking at vantage points of Tel Aviv, by the way, because we look to the skies to see if there's any military activity, perhaps anything being intercepted in the skies. Time right now is 4:52 in the morning, Israel Standard.
Just trying to look at everyone's inventory here. See what we can do, see what we can manage, see what we can around. See what else this guy had. Fire claws. Black. Now what do I add? It's probably boring. Dark, now black. Is it stronger than darkness? That's what I'm curious about. Black. Alright, let's see what the fuck this thing is along. Alright, it was one more. Yeah, I'll take it. We'll take it. Oh, this is about the guys that got shot in Minnesota.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bob Jacobson. I am the Commissioner of Public Safety, and it's my honor to serve in that position. We're here today to give some updates on the current investigation. First off, I would like to thank the law enforcement agencies and the public out there who are being vigilant, our law enforcement partners who are watching out for others in our community, the understanding and patience of the public as we work to find this individual and bring that person to justice. We know that it's been a difficult day for not only those who have worked with those legislators, but it's also a difficult day for those in the state of Minnesota who are working through this terrible tragedy. Today we have a few speakers who are going to, again, give some updates, and we will be available to answer some questions once all the speakers have had that opportunity to say a few words. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent Drew Evans of the BCA.
Thanks, Commissioner. And today we are asking for the public's help at this point in time in locating Vance Luther Bolter, who is a 57-year-old white male who's 6 feet 1 inches tall, 220 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. I know this name has been reported in the media so far, and we are confirming he's a person of interest that we are looking to locate in relation to this. At this time, we would ask the public, if you do locate him or see him, to call 911. Do not approach him. You should consider him armed and dangerous, and you should call 911 immediately with the information. He was seen last this morning wearing light-colored cowboy hat that you can see up here in the clothing there, with dark-colored long-sleeve collared shirt or coat, light pants, and carrying a dark bag. If you have any tips about the whereabouts or any information that would be helpful, you can call local police department, or you can call our BCA tip line at 877-996-0600. 6222, or email us at bca.tips@state.mn.us. We still don't know if additional people are involved. This individual is the one that we're looking as a person of interest right now, but there may be other people with him, and we would like to speak to anybody that may have had contact with him at any point in time. So please connect with us, even if this has been some time ago today, so that we can follow up and continue to work together to keep our communities safe. And we, as the commissioner noted, we'll take some questions at the end, but again, we're seeking the assistance of the public in locating him. I want to continue to say, as you see, there's hundreds of law enforcement officers working on this right now, for the partners that you see up here today, as well from Champlin, Brooklyn Park, the State Patrol, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, FBI, ATF, just a myriad of partners working to try to locate this individual. And with that, I will turn it over to the mayor, and we'll answer questions at the end.
This looks like Zelda, doesn't it?
So hi, my name is Hollis Winston, Mayor of the City of Brooklyn Park. First, I want to extend my prayers to the Hoffman family, but also to the Hortman family as well. You know, there will come a time down the road for healing within us as a community, but right now I think what's required is a calming words and rhetoric. I want folks to make sure they listen to the facts from credible sources like law enforcement, but also to resist spreading misinformation. And then again, asking folks to listen to law enforcement in general when law enforcement has those specific asks. In Brooklyn Park, Champlin, and our surrounding communities, in fact, the state, we're very much a family. The Hoffman and Hortman families are very much our family. And so our prayers continuously go out to them. And it's very much a time for us to come together as a community.
What the fuck is that?
And as a family. And I think people need to see it that way. I want to thank law enforcement, Governor Waltz, Commissioner Jacobson, Sheriff Witt, FBI, various counties, local law enforcement. Even with our city of Brooklyn Park, we're seeing a ton of local law enforcement and county law enforcement just supporting our city overall. And we want to thank them for doing that. They're dedicated to keeping us safe and to securing justice. I would say to support them again. If you have information, there'll be information behind me. Please share that information. And again, please look and listen for valid information and share that. There will be a time to come together, and I think specifically for the city of Brooklyn Park and within our area, there'll be a time where we come together when we work through what we're going through now as a community. But I want to say this. You know, this individual did this to instill fear into our community, but they also wanted to create a distinct and singular point of view. When I listed all of that law enforcement coming together, that was really us as a state, as a community, from all different walks of life, coming together to work on what's happening. And I received calls from folks across the state, from all different ethnicities and communities as well, with an outpouring of support. So I want you to understand that as a city, but as a state, as a community, we're very much going to come together. We're going to see this through, and we're all going to work together to figure this out. So again, I want to thank our law enforcement, and I want to turn it over to the Mayor of Champlin Park.
Yang, we're going to change that name.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Sabis, Mayor of Champlin, and on behalf of the City of Champlin, our police department, and our City Council, I want to extend a heartfelt thoughts and prayers to Senator John Hoffman and Representative Melissa Hortman and their families. We are deeply saddened by the senseless act of violence, and our hearts are with all those that have been affected. Our police department is working close partnership with state, local, and federal agencies to pursue this active investigation. We are incredibly grateful for their swift and responsible professional response and for the collaboration of commitment of every officer involved. We ask everyone to stay attentive, report anything that feels concerning, and most of all, continue to show kindness, respect, and care for one another. This is how we move forward together. And again, thank you all for being here. And again, I think Mayor Winston said it well that Hoffman family and the Hortman family are very much part of our communities, part of our fabric of our communities. And we really wish the families all the best. Thank you.
As folks have said, we'll take a few questions. Please don't forget to, in the first question, introduce yourself,
Lady
your
K.
organization with whom you're with, and if you have a question for a specific individual, call that out. Thank you.
The question was, do we have an update on Senator Hoffman's condition? We don't at this time. The last information we had is that he was out of surgery and was in stable condition at that time, but that certainly experienced significant injuries, so we'll have to continue to monitor that.
That's it? That's the only thing I'm fucking up here?
He's a suspect, one and the same for this particular case at this point in time.
Okay, so we can say suspect.
You can say suspect. Yes, so the question was regarding the sophistication of the individual based on reports that he owned a security company. I certainly can't get into the details of the investigation. That'll all be part of that, and we'll explore all of that. We're aware of the connections that you reference, and the team will be dissecting that between the investigators, Brooklyn Park Police Department, and all of the state, local, and federal partners that are working on that. Certainly, an individual will have some familiarity if that's the line of work that they're in with some of the tactics that you noted, but we'll be exploring that more fully.
One question about the photo that we're seeing in the cowboy hat and the jacket. Is that photo taken today?
That photo is today.
And is it from a ring camera at the residence of either of our lawmakers?
The question is it from a ring camera? It's not. This is from a business. So this is at a business location. And there, we believe, as noted, that we believe he's was still in at this time. He was in the Twin Cities area. And that we are continuing to work and follow up on that. We believe he's working to potentially flee the area, and so that's why we're sharing that with that information now so that we can safely apprehend him.
Is there a way that you're in touch with the TSA? I know Governor Walz has been in contact with federal agents, as you have mentioned with the FBI.
Yeah.
Are airlines, seeing his pictures made as important?
So the question is, are we in contact with TSA? We've been in contact with all of the federal authorities that are relevant to this investigation. We will continue to be.
Are you able to share the time or location that photo was taken today?
The question is, can I share the time and location? This was this morning when this was taken. It was in the city of Minneapolis. That's at this point, I think, all that we can share as we work to follow up on that.
Are there any surveillance or ring camera video from either of the residents where the shooting takes place?
The question is, there's surveillance or ring camera. We do have various video from different locations. I don't want to get into specifics as part of the active investigation, but there is video that has been obtained by the investigators.
Can you talk about some of the other locations that you guys are working on, Green Isle, maybe 29th, Fremont, and
So, yeah, we can, the question is, can we talk about some of the other locations? Because their teams are very active as part of an active investigation, I can't talk about the specifics. What I will tell you is the two locations you noted in Minneapolis and in Green Isle, they are related to this investigation and the follow-up that the teams are doing.
I'm going to give Ellen, I'm sorry, we're going to give it to Ellen, and then we're going to have one more question.
Can you talk a little bit more about the manifesto and what kind of motivation it might be? We're told that there might be some pro-choice lawmakers on this manifesto. That has anything to do with the motivations here?
At this point in time, it'd be premature. The question was, is the manifesto and the information that we have received as their motivations. We are working diligently on that. There's certainly some indications within that, but there's not specifics enough. We have been, this is a very active and fluid investigation. Throughout the day, as you've been waiting and these teams have been out working, out in the field, and they have been gathering more documents and information, so it would be premature for me at this point to really say exactly what the motivation might be from these writings, but we will be continuing to work on that and provide that information when we're able. The question is, did they know each other in any capacity? We are still exploring that. There's certainly some overlap with some, public meetings, I will say, with Senator Hoffman and the individual, but we don't know the nature of the relationship or if they actually knew each other.
Right, thank you. Thanks, everybody.
We were just listening
I heard a guy already signed up for the steel
to the latest
toe golf
update from those
tournament.
Minnesota officials. Let's slide away for a 2-minute commercial break.
Hope he gets a refund. But I won't be up much longer. We'll just finish all this turmoil here inside this castle. I did walk in here with party of 5, and now we're down to 3. In the castle. The only good thing I was able to like walk around and like get all this shit I could from here before I. Okay, whatever. I don't know how much farther back we're going here, folks. Oh, I need that fucking crystal. We'll see when they come back what they talk about. If not, man, we take a break and then might find something else to watch. Alright, this is just a rerun. They're just playing the same shit we just saw. God damn it. You know, these fucking channels, man. All the time. Alright, what else do we gotta do here? Yeah, the crystals. Don't lose the fucking Wait, what? Who's that? OJ? Oh, fuck them. Christ, always getting us in trouble. God damn it. Who's retreating? Not me. Alright, here we go. This looks good. There it is. There she is. There's the crystal. What the fuck? Kane. Oh! It's gotta be Kane! Kane! Should I save this right here or no? Should I? Or wait, are we fighting or dancing here? Come on. What are you laughing now, pal? The fuck? How can this guy just kill me like that without... Oh god, no, alright. Use a little help here. fuck is this guy? Oh, what the fuck is... Oh, god damn. Is there anyone left still alive? Okay, there goes the crystal, I guess, huh? Oh, what do we do? Don't take the girl. God damn it. Well, there goes the crystal. All that for nothing. Well, great. Now what? Oh, help us here. You tell him, Trump. Alright.
Into the roster of American heroes than the U.S. Army, the Congressional Medal of Honor, more than anyone or anything.
Alright, so we gotta go find wherever they're bringing this fucking
Anthony
crystal
Wayne,
to,
asked
huh?
by George Washington to lead a daring midnight raid up the cliffs of Stony Point with unloaded muskets and only their bayonets to fight the redcoats. Mad Anthony replied, "Issue the order, sir, and I will storm into hell for you." Then there was the Civil War general, John Corse, shot in the face in
found
combat.
something.
He fired off a message to his commander: "I am short a cheekbone and one ear,
Whoa, here we go.
but I
What's
am
this?
able to whip the hell out of all of them." He stayed on the front lines, it seemed forever. In World War II, there was the great Creighton Abrams, besieged on all sides by the Nazis at the Battle of the Bulge. He boldly proclaimed, "They've got us surrounded again, the poor bastards." This is the fighting spirit and unyielding force of the U.S. Army. It has never changed, and it will never, ever change, because there is no earthly force more powerful than the brave heart of a U.S. infantryman or an Army Ranger, paratrooper, or Green Beret. They are the best, they are the finest. From Bunker Hill to San Juan Hill, from Gettysburg to Guadalcanal, from Yorktown to Shiloh, and from the trenches of the Argonne to the mountains of Afghanistan, the Army has forged a legacy of unmatched courage, untold sacrifice, and unequaled and undying glory. Our soldiers have poured out their blood by the bucketful on Missionary Ridge and Heartbreak Ridge, on the sands of Sicily, Normandy, and the Philippines, and on the dusty streets of Da Nang, Baghdad, and Fallujah. Thanks to their extraordinary service and devotion, 250 years later, America stands tall, America stands proud, and America stands free. We're the hottest country in the world right now. And our country will soon be greater and stronger than ever before. Down through history, we've been blessed beyond words by this valiant legion of Army warriors and patriots, heroes and legends. And tonight we affirm with unwavering certainty that in the years ahead and in every generation hence, whenever duty calls and whatever danger comes, the American soldier will be there. No matter the risk, no matter the obstacles, our warriors will charge into battle. They will plunge into the crucible of fire, and they will seize the crown of victory. because the United States of America will always have the grace of Almighty God and the iron will of the United States Army.
Karate fighters on one
Congratulations to everybody. We love our country. We've never done better. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the Army, and God bless America.
Right, God bless.
And now I'd like to ask our great First Lady to join me at the podium. Thank you very much, everybody.
Stuck here.
Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute, I gotta go down this way.
The Army Corps tonight, I would like to present to you this flag, which was flown over our nation's capital and free fall during the Army's 250th birthday celebration.
What's up, bro? Nobody else could use the fucking shadow thingy.
Trump speaking earlier today in D.C. Let's take a break. Back in 2 minutes.
Hopefully there's a good stopping point up right here. Sweet, so I got me a new sword. Then we get to go head to the harbor. Damn. That's how it's done right there. I'm gonna save, do my little gimmick save here. Alright. Well, I gotta get to the harbor, but kind of need to take a quick break though. So, just bear with me here. Here. because it looks like they're death. You know what's happening was the for some reason computer mic was on too, plus the regular mic. So, because I was looking at the levels, I was like, why is the microphone I use is off, but like there's sound coming out. So I'm like, what the fuck? Kind of sorry about that. Yeah, I think I found the most boringest fucking thing to watch. I apologize for that. There we go, that's what I want. It's a full screen. Like, does it matter if the... Oh, whatever. Alright, I'm just gonna get out of this castle and get towards the boat and then end this fucking thing. Oh, there's the fucking boat right there. Boy, that guy was talking about that going another fucking adventure. Let's just take a peek, see what else is anything up to here. The fuck's this? It's a secret hideout? What is this? Oh, it's the Chigapoos. These things, they were lucky. So you get to ride. Oh, yeah. Alright. Oh, no. It was like a staple to like the Final Fantasy franchises are like these type of fucking characters here. Yeah, those are like live shots of Tel Aviv as they start their reconstruction period, I guess, or something. I don't fucking know. But I'm just fucking around here on the Chicopoo, just see if there's anything I missed or any places of interest. Down here, stuff down here. Ah! Hit the wrong button, my bad. But that's cool. Alright. Now we're on a boat. The fuck's this bitch? Lady K's, oh god. Setting off sail here. Nice the anchor. Woohoo! Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Come on. Alright, sweet. It's the fastest I've ever seen a fucking sailboat move in my life. Fine, said master engineer. Okay. If they had insurance, something I can think of. I mean, how much do you think it costs to have homeowners insurance in Israel? What? What? The fuck is this? You know what? We're gonna take a pause for the cause here, folks. We're gonna save it with the game changing. That can't be. Is that true? Master of the Seas? That's the fire thing. Alright. Well, good. I got a whole ship full of people. It should be easy, right? Alright, why are y'all spazzing the fuck out? Bigger. I also figured out that playing these videos, if you the settings of the video, if you go down to like a very low resolution, but when you pop it on here, it like on whatever you're viewing it on, let's say for instance it's you know, your cell phone or whatever. Like you can't really tell exactly what type of resolution it is. So it really doesn't matter, you know. It's kind of like why run it at, you know, 1080p when doing it at like 360p from that small, you know, I mean, that small the visual box. It's not really gonna matter. We'll just save you a lot of hassle. Well, I say me because it makes it helps the quality overall. Great. This will help now. Just jump right overseas. Oh shit. We're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning. Great, I'm all alone again? Perfect. That's what I fucking needed. Oh my god. See, wasted all that time and all that money and effort, and then here I am all by my lonesome again. What the cocksucker fuck? I gotta do this shit on my own? Is that the cock trick? I hate those guys. Swoon. Oh, this ain't gonna be good. Oh, fuck. The hell are you coming upon here? Hey, guy. Wait, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck? Why the fuck do you make me a toad? Why did I like try finding one of those like Kensington streams? But the thing is though, a lot of those some of them don't have audio, or if the audio is just basically this, what it, you know, you're listening to, which is shit. But what we were watching ended, and I wanted to just pop something up there for a minute till I get to a point where I can end the stream and save this for another day, another time. For anybody still watching and listening, thank you. Like I say, every time I pop up on the stream, I always try something new. Everyone's try to make it look a little bit better than the one before. Only thing I can think of is I want like a wallpaper, like background on for the screen to fill in the black. But what that is, I don't know. And like I can always like fuck around, like, you know, like reshape these boxes, make those bigger. Put me over here. Those are fine. Those are fine. There's a hidden box. Actually, between the on the right, there's like that space there. That's for a link for any guests who want to hop on sometime. But that's not till down the road. But Yeah, we fucked around. We made a lot of progress in the game here. Sucks I'm all alone now. Don't know where I had a crew of 5 decent people. Now I'm left with just me and my lonesome, kind of stranded here. We'll figure this all out another day, another time. Shut that guy off. So until then, everybody,